Hello everyone, it's Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. This is the first time today I've picked up any knitting. I'm nearly up to the armholes on Claudette's, the second half. This is the third part of the cardigan that I'm doing. I've been in my garden all day since about 10:30 this morning, or it was 11 o'clock, about 11 o'clock I think it was, when I actually started work. I had the grass to cut. I have a very large lawn in the back and a small one at the top of the back garden as well, where I have like a flower bed and that, and there's a small lawn there, and I have a medium-sized one in the front garden as well, so they all needed cutting. So that's what I started off with 11 o'clock this morning. And I was doing like I was doing yesterday, doing so much and then having a break. Well, I started 11 o'clock cutting the grass in the back and then in the front. And that took me till about nearly 12 o'clock, I think it was. So I thought I need a rest after that. At least it wasn't bending down. It was just walking up and down with the lawnmower, so I could go a little bit longer. But it was nearly lunchtime, so I came in and decided to do my lunch. And I would have a sit down to do a little bit of knitting after my lunch. But I was asked to do a rosebud. There was a lady called Jan. She asked for the rosebud cardigans and the mock rib one as well, I think it was she asked for. But she was also going to try and to make the rosebud one, work it out herself to fit a 9-year-old. So I thought to myself, I'll sit and I'll work that out. So, I'm not knitting a one, so I'll just see if I can work it out from my head. I usually, when I do the patterns, I work them out while I'm actually knitting them, because that gives me better insight to how many decreases I have to do and things like that. But I thought I'll see if I can work it out without doing that. Took quite a while. I have done I sorted the back part and I sent that to her. And I'm busy doing the front, working out the front. I've got as far as the armholes, but now I have to work out up to the neck part and where to do the shaping for that. So that'll take a little bit, because it's coming straight out my head. It's not like what I'm knitting, you know, which is what I prefer to do, but thought I would do that. And then I had an email from another lady called Ronnie. Her name is Veronica, she gets Ronnie. And she has actually typed out the pattern, the 24-inch one. So it looks like a proper pattern. It's all typed out and everything for me, and sent it to me in a PDF format. So I'm going to send it to everybody who I've already sent the patterns to, because the pattern that I sent was just all my notes I had jotted down in the book, how I'd work the pattern out for myself. And I was thinking about typing it out myself, but Ronnie beat me to it, and she's made a really good job of it. So I will be sending that to everybody. I've already sent it to one, because there was a lady called Michelle asked for a copy, and I only just seen it after I came in, when I came in after my tea. So I've sent the one to her that Ronnie sent to me. So I'll be sending one to everybody else who's had just the 24-inch one. But it's like I say, it took me a little while to work out the 28. I'm going to do when I get the 28 one sorted and finished, I'll probably send that out to anybody that wants it. But they'll have to wait until I get it sorted and finished, because it's only going to be a little bit out of time that I'm sending to Jan until I get it all worked out in my head. It's easier when I'm knitting it to work it out, but I have other ones to finish, like this one, and the other one, the turquoise one I'm doing for Sarah before I can do anything like that. And two little 16-inch baby ones I have to do as well. But I was working in my garden, and like I'm saying, I started off cutting the lawns, and then I went into the back garden afterwards, and I was looking. I had trimmed a lot of, there's an area around, I have a small area where I usually have my table right in the corner of the garden. And there was a lot of, I have compost bins there as well, and I've got a rhubarb patch there as well, which has all gone to seed. It's just all the seeds thingy, I'm going to have to cut them all off. But I was trimming that because there was grass growing out everywhere, and there was an area in front of the compost bins that's all, just nothing there, it's just soil and that, and there was a lot of weeds coming up and grass and that, so I just trimmed all that yesterday and cleared it. And the corner where I keep my table, there was a bramble bush come through the fence, and I'm looking at it, and it's a blackberry bramble, and I was going to cut it down, and then I'm looking at it and there was loads of flowers on it. There's going to be a lot of blackberries on that. It's like a little bush stuck in the corner, so I've just left it. So I've moved my table away from there and put it onto my my patio over the other side anyway. But there's a lot of bushes even outside my garden. That's where that one's come from outside the garden. There's all loads of blackberries and there on them. So I'm going to be picking some blackberries just from outside my garden this year, make some jam with them. That's what I usually do with the blackberries, because there's a lot of them. We used to have to go looking around all the tracks and everything, but they seem to have really spread all around my garden, actually outside the back garden, because there's a track outside the back garden. There's a cycle path, and there's bushes outside my garden and over on the other side of the cycle path as well. So there were plenty blackberries this year. So after I sorted that, I thought I have a very wide path down my garden. It's wide enough for cars to get on it, because when we first moved into this house, my husband and myself and one of my sons is a motor mechanic, and there was just like a dirt track around the back. There's proper tracks now, but it just used to be a dirt track, and my husband and my son used to bring their cars around the back so we could work on them in the back garden, so you weren't annoying your neighbours by doing them on your front drive in your front garden, you know, because you got looked down on, like doing things like that in your front garden. So they were happier, and it was easier just stepping in and out of the outhouse, you know, going from the back garden into the outhouse for anything they wanted. So we have a very wide path down there, and it was full of weeds. Like I'm saying, I haven't done anything in my garden most of this year, and some of the weeds were getting so big I was tripping over them when I was walking up and down the garden. I say, I'm going to clear that path. I'm sick of tripping over the like little bushes, some of the weeds. So I cleared all that, and my back was really aching by the time I finished. I needed to sit down. I think I spent longer than half an hour doing that, but I sat down after that and worked a little bit more on the 28-inch rosebud cardigan, trying to keep my writing pad from blowing away because it's very windy. It's been a lovely warm day, but it's very windy, and the sun's been in and out all day. But even when the sun wasn't shining, it was lovely and warm. So I got that sorted, and then I thought, there's two patches where I used to grow. One patch I used to grow strawberries on until the rabbits came in and started eating everything. And that was full of weeds as well now. And another area which was just a big square spare that I had for growing anything, you know, that I didn't have room for. And that was really, you know, some of the weeds were up to my waist. You know, those like nettle ones, they don't go very deep. They're easy to get out of the soil, you know, just a little bit push with the spade, and they came out quite long, but they were so tall and that, and I was putting them in my wheelbarrow and they were longer than the width of the length of the wheelbarrow. But I cleared a lot of those, and I was digging out some of the dandelion ones, because those tap roots go too far down and you can never get to the bottom of them. So I cleared a lot of those out as well, and just pulling those weeds out that you could pull out by hand that weren't very far into the soil, you know. They get like a little purple flower on them actually when they're all flowering, these weeds, and there was loads of them. So I've just been pulling a lot of weeds and that out of the garden, and just digging the nettles and the dandelion ones before I actually dig it over properly, because it's easier to get into it. There was a lot of buttercups as well. You just get one or two of them and they just spread all over the place, and that's what's happened with those. So my garden is looking a little bit tidier. When I get it finished, I'll probably let you all have a look and see what it looks like now. But I'm not showing you, I'm too ashamed to show what it looks like now. Until it's all properly cleared up. And I even have it's another kind of patio over the other side of my garden. It's behind my outhouse, where my husband used to use it for like a workshop type of thing when he was alive. And he used to do all his sawing, and, you know, when he had these power tools and everything he used to do around there. And that's what it was for, because he didn't get a lot of sun there. But it was handy for him. And it's got all just, you know, those big paving slabs all around, but there's loads of weeds coming up through them as well. And I have a lot of old bits of paving, some broken pavings and some full pavings, and that one shifting. I'll have to get somebody to come and move all of them, I think, because they're just rubbish there. They're no good. I'd clear some of the rubbish out of my garden and then it wouldn't look so bad. So that's what I've been doing all day, and I'm going to sit down tonight and I'm just going to sit and knit. I'll be at my granddaughter's tomorrow, and I might get a little bit of work done in the morning before I go down my granddaughter's, but that'll be all, because I'll be down here. I don't know what the weather's like. Have a look on my phone, see what we're getting tomorrow, so I'll know whether I'll be sitting in our back garden or not. Yeah. Oh, we're going to get sunny. We are, according to my phone, it's brilliant sunshine from 5 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock. Well, I'll not be up at 5 o'clock, but I'll probably be up about 7, 8 and 9 for the, and then it's sunny spells up to 19 degrees. And some cloud as well, more cloud I think, but it's still going to be warm anyway, so I'll probably be sitting in a back garden doing some knitting tomorrow afternoon and as well. Put my phone down. Oh, I've got 2 emails. I'll have a check to see whether anybody's after that rosebud pattern again. Oh no, so I've just been, 2 people just thanked me for sending the pattern to them. So that's my little bit for today. So I'm going to get on with my knitting. I'm going to make myself a drink as well, because it's really, you do need to drink a lot more in this type of weather than you do normally, because you can get dehydrated and not even realise it sometimes. I was keeping a glass of water on my table out in the garden the whole time I was working, to make sure I was having some drink, because it was really warm. So thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you another time. So bye for now.